The problem is you can't stop thinking about your ex. And in today's podcast, I'm going to be giving you the solution. My name is Vincent Boss, and if you would like to speak with me one-on-one about your breakup, whether or not you want to try to get your ex back, whether or not you want to move forward and find somebody even better, then check out my website, www.dateme.tips, and you will find information on my audio coaching service where we can speak one-on-one. But in today's podcast, we're going to be speaking about the best Dumpee breakup distractions. Because if you want to get your ex back, you need to be distracted from your ex so you can move forward in a positive way, implementing my version of a no contact rule. If you want to find somebody even better, then of course you also need to be distracted from thinking about your ex. So today's podcast, I'm going to be giving you 3 great pieces of advice of how you can distract yourself as a Dumpee and stop thinking about your ex 24/7. So let's get straight into this. And point number 1, idea number 1 is exercise. Now, getting regular exercise is very important for all of us. You know, if you increase your exercise, if you have a healthy lifestyle, not only are you improving your health, of course, but you're also improving your fitness, the byproduct of which is increased physical attraction. If you want to try to get your ex back or find somebody even better, then you need to be looking better as well as feeling better, and exercise will give you that. But today we're talking about Dumpee distractions. And exercise doesn't just make you feel better and look better, it also distracts you. When you're concentrating on exercise, you're not thinking about your ex. You're spending all of that inbuilt feeling of adrenaline that most Dumpees are experiencing, the feeling that you can't stand still. A lot of Dumpees pace up and down the room. They can't sit still, they're just walking around, etc., etc. Well, why not tie that into exercise? If you're going to be walking around, then instead of doing it in your room, you may as well go outside. You know, if you go outside, especially during daylight hours, you will also have the benefit of natural sunlight hitting your skin, increased vitamin D. That is going to improve your mindset. Now, of course, if it's too sunny, if it's too hot, take precautions. But generally speaking, if you can get out during daylight hours, that is the best course of action. Now, if you can't get outside, if you're unable to do something like this, then you can exercise indoors. Maybe you have an exercise bike. Even if you don't, there's many exercises you can do with no equipment at all. It's so important that you regularly exercise. Like I said, not just to improve your health and fitness, but to take your mind off your ex. If you're thinking about exercise, you're less likely to be thinking about them. And the adrenaline, which is often bubbling up inside, will be spent. You know, you need to release that adrenaline. You need to release all of that emotion. And the best way people generally find to do this is by exercise, and it could be anything or everything. You know, whether or not you want to go swimming, whether or not you want to be part of a sports team, whether or not, like I said, you just go for a walk, it's all going to be better for you than sitting at home alone in your room, looking around the walls. And like I said, if you're pacing around, like a lot of Dumpees often do, you may as well do this outside. But whatever you're doing, just make sure you're exercising. It will help you in so many ways, and it is one of the 3 reasons I'm going to suggest to you today about how you can distract yourself as a Dumpee. Always remember that this isn't something that should just be done during a breakup. A healthy lifestyle is vital throughout your life, so maintain a good amount of exercise. If you don't know how much you should be doing, if you feel like you're too unfit, then you need to start slowly. Maybe go to a local doctor and just check out what you should be doing for your physical condition. But generally speaking, more exercise is better than doing absolutely nothing. So whether or not you start slow or whether you're somebody who is already quite fit and you're increasing it further, if you exercise, then you're less likely to be dwelling on your breakup. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about best Dumpee breakup distractions. And point number 2 is visiting new places. Now, when I say visiting new places, I mean visiting new places. I don't mean going to a place that you really enjoyed, that you went with your ex, okay? There may be a time and a place for you to do those kind of things where you can start to learn about going to locations you went with your ex and learn and create new memories there, but this isn't the time. If you're really going through the grind as a Dumpee, we want to be avoiding those things if possible. and visiting new places, creating new memories where you and your ex never was, that is what's really going to help you right now. So this doesn't have to be elaborate. If you want to go elaborate, then go elaborate. If you want to go on holiday or vacation where you travel hundreds and thousands of miles, that's absolutely fine if you can do that. But it could also be you just go to a new cafe, a new restaurant, a new pub, a new club, a new bar, which just maybe the other side of town. You don't have to go far, but if you want to and are able to, then you can. The point is, you're creating new memories in a place you didn't go with your ex. If you want to try to stop thinking about your ex, avoid thinking about your ex, you need to give yourself new things to think about, new memories. If you visit a place but you went with your ex, that is a natural trigger. Okay, and like I said, maybe in the future this is something you'll be working through to plant new memories in those locations. But when you're going through the tough times, when you're going through the grind, I don't suggest you do this. I suggest you visit new places. Maybe you want to ask your friends and family to go with you. Maybe this is something that you're going to be doing alone. But I suggest that you plan this as soon as you stop listening to today's podcast. Why not think a few days in the future? Why not think of the next weekend? This is where you're going to be going. Set a plan. Start to think about what exactly you're doing. Again, just doing the planning is going to stop you thinking about your ex just for a few moments. And when you do go to this place, try and live your life to the full. Whether or not this is something extravagant or something a little bit more low-key, you can still have a great time doing whatever it is you're there to do. Even if it's just relaxing, have a great time relaxing. Remember these moments. Create new positive memories in new places, and you will have a much better time if and when you are alone. Okay, you are going to have times alone in your house. I said in point number 1, you don't really want to be doing this much more than you have to, but ultimately you are going to have times when you are alone. You are going to have times when you're in your house, in your room, in the dark, and you don't want to be thinking about nothing other than your ex. Create new memories, create new situations that you can consider and think of, and therefore in those moments, in those times, you will have different things to consider. I would always say that visiting new places is a crucial element of trying to create a breakup distraction. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about best dumpy breakup distractions. And point number 3 is online dating. Now, when I say online dating, I don't necessarily mean that you actually have to physically date anybody. It is more so the concept of online dating. We live in an era where we can speak to new people very, very easily. And I found through my research that there is no better distraction in my mind than using online dating apps. Okay, if you want to take your mind off your ex, there's nothing better than chatting to somebody who could potentially be a date. Now, this doesn't have to be a date. This doesn't have to be something that you take even any way further than just an initial chat. But just doing so creates a breakup distraction. I suggest that you sign up to online dating platforms ASAP. You don't have to pay. There are many good online dating platforms but have no initial cost of entry. You can join these platforms and you can see how you feel, dipping your toe into the water. Like I said, you don't have to meet anybody. All I would say is that you're honest with people that you do communicate with and say that you're fresh out of a breakup and you don't really know what you're looking for at this time. This removes the thought in their mind that you're going to be thinking of moving things very, very fast and very, very serious. If you give them the understanding that you don't really know what you're looking for, things could be a bit up and down, things could be casual, things might never get past communicating on the app. If they still want to talk with you, then that's fantastic. And who knows, they may be in the same position as you. So I would suggest joining an online dating platform, posting your best photos. If you don't have any new, fresh photos in the last couple of months, then I suggest taking new photos. Again, that can be part of a distraction. Having a friend or family member take photos of you can be a lot of fun. Wear your best clothes, go in different locations, make yourself look as best as you can, post them on your online dating platform. Then create an interesting and intriguing profile. Don't mention in the profile that you're fresh out of a breakup. Don't speak about negative things. When you start to type up your online dating profile, make sure you include things which come across as positive, intriguing, and also ambitious. If you have these things in your profiles along with some great photos, you will stand an excellent opportunity of hearing from people who want to speak with you. Now, I don't suggest you just sit there either. Make sure you are pushing forward yourself on the app, whether that is swiping, whether that is sending out the first message. You can do this. This isn't like when you're trying to get an ex back and I say, never contact your ex again, unless they contact you first. You should be pushing forward on this. Sending out messages is something very, very important. You can't just wait for others to communicate with you. If and when you get into conversations, try to be as positive as possible. Like I said, you may want to mention you're fresh out of a breakup somewhat briefly just to give them the impression of where you're at in your mindset. But don't dwell on that situation. Don't keep talking about your ex. New people do not want to hear about your ex. And that is great because this is a dumpy breakup distraction. This isn't something for you to kind of get everything off your chest. If you want to do that, then you may want to speak with me one-on-one via my audio coaching, which I've already said can be found on my website, www.dateme.tips. These are dumpy breakup distractions: exercise, visiting new places, online dating. When you're doing these things, you want to be trying your best not to think of your ex. So don't use these as opportunities to start speaking about your ex and thinking about your ex in a conscious way. If they're in your mind subconsciously, well, you've just got to keep moving forward. You will get through this difficult tunnel. I always say happiness is around your next corner. We just don't know when that next corner is. And sometimes you have to really go through that grind for a while, but you will get there. You will get past the point of difficulty and pain and suffering that you're experiencing. So please keep moving forward. Don't sit still. Live your life to the full, and you will get through this difficult time. And if you don't get your ex back, you can and will find somebody even better if you improve yourself every single day. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.